Leroy Steinhubl. I come from Kronau Colony, about 2¼ miles west from St. Peter's Colony. And myself, I'm not original, my family was not originally from this area. They moved in about 1940. So in around 1996, I became interested in history of all these colonies, like St. Peter's, Kronau, Spire, and St. Mary's. That's west of Kronau. There was a sod church built, and about 1894. And before that, there was a mass held on the northeast corner of 14 Colony. So that church was, like I said, built out of mud, and it wouldn't withstand all the elements. So eventually, Kronau Cemetery, Kronau Colony over there was first called St. Peter's Colony, and that from 1896 to 1903. Then they decided to build a church over here after much controversy. So eventually the church got built here in 1903. And if you look at some of what's inside the church, there's pews, and the pews are very beautiful, but there's really no record that I could find, unless someone else knows, when they were built. And I don't think you'll see any other pews like this anywhere. The acoustics in here are very good, and way back, later on in the year 1927, the sacristy was built out back there, and then later on there was a pulpit pot from Dundas, Ontario, and the pulpit is just over in the corner here. It was built by 1920, and it was lost at one time, but eventually I found it and put it back into the church. People came over from Germany, and they liked to live in communities with a road down the center, and they came, and then they bought lots anywhere from 6, 2, 3, 5 acres, 10 acres, 12 acres, and they bought land outside. These German, Russian Catholic settlers, they did not work together. Everybody was separate. Sure, they helped the neighbors and stuff like that, but then they bought land outside of the colony here and lived here. A lot of people think these colonies are Hutterites, and we are not Hutterites. Hutterites only came to Canada by 1915, and they took the word colony from, maybe over in Russia maybe they named the same thing, colony, over there. But like I said, the name colony was already established in the area. So around 1916, there was a priest, Father Heinrich Metzger. His parish was St. Joseph Colony, just north here, about 10 miles. So eventually he came here, and he talked to the people, and they were going to build a grotto. This grotto was built in 1917. It took 2 months, from June till August, to complete. And at that time there was women, men, children. They mixed the mortar. The stones were hauled, let's say within a mile or two from all over here. There's a lot of stones all over. So then they laid this grotto, and it sort of resembles the same as the shrine of Our Lady of Lourdes in France. So they got stones from all over, let's say it's a quarter or half section. Everybody got stones, brought them to the grotto here, and like in this area there's a lot of stone. So that's why they made, the grotto was made out of stone. So it took, I believe, 2 months to build, from June 1917. It was finished in August, so there could be a pilgrimage mass set down there. The altar in front, the grotto here. My dad, Paul Steinhubl, built that. So we have a pilgrimage here every second Sunday in August. For the past 100 years. Last year we had a number of people coming for pilgrimage for the 100th anniversary. So it's a very nice place. People come out here and pray, and even in the 50s and 60s, people used to walk from Regina to here. Father Metzger, he painted these Stations of the Cross here. And I believe it was 1935 to 1949 that he painted 14 Stations of the Cross. And if you go to museums all over Saskatchewan, Canada, you'll see some of his paintings. You'll see some paintings in people's houses that he had given. And over there's Father Metzger's grave. He got buried here in 1949, and like I said, he became resident priest here in 1916. He was born in 1876, July the 15th, and he died July the 15th, 1949. So I don't know if many people can say the same thing. It was still a viable parish up until about maybe 2000. But then there was slowly less people coming to church. And then, you had 6, 7 families. And what happens here is there's so many other churches in Regina, Sedley, Liebank, Balgony. So eventually people just went different directions. Throughout time, people have visited this place and they keep on visiting it. And one thing is you leave it, go to the dogs, who wants to visit it? You got to make it look presentable. And to make it look presentable, you got to have volunteers that are committed to do the work. And nowadays, sometimes you don't get no commitment. To get interest in history, you got to read enough books, and read the book not just once, 2, 3, 4 times. You really get the drift of it all. I lived around here, and way back when I got married in the 1990s, before that there wasn't really much passion. You just lived here and you didn't do a heck of a lot. But then when my family was growing up, this is a nice place, and like I said, we had baptisms here, and we had confirmation. We had last year, oh no, sorry about that, 2015, 2 of my kids got married down here in the grotto, separate dates, July and August. So that makes you passionate.